What is going on, guys? Today I wanted to make a comment to talk about my thoughts regarding Call of Duty Modern Warfare's multiplayer beta and also the alpha gunfight that PlayStation 4 users also could play. And I thought it would be a good time to talk about it now, prior, at least as I'm recording this, prior to the second weekend happening of this Modern Warfare multiplayer beta, and pretty much leaving my thoughts right now of what I think, and then we'll see if the second weekend here will be changing my thoughts in any drastic way or not. But I want to start with the alpha mode and then I'll hop into the beta afterwards. So the alpha gunfight mode was actually very enjoyable to me. I really had a blast when I played it. It was definitely something that surprised me with the gameplay, at least, of how fun this game was. I had my worries about this whole thing because I knew that Infinity Ward wanted a more realistic approach in this Call of Duty game, and because of that I was also very nervous about the different realistic stuff that they could potentially add into it, such as the movement being slow and that sort of thing. But turned out it wasn't too bad, and the hit detection was great, the sound in general with the guns was great, the visuals also definitely great as well. And then there's also the maps that I in general really enjoyed and thought was really good, each and one of them in their own ways. And when I now left Modern Warfare's alpha, when it was over, I was just really looking forward to the multiplayer beta, and I couldn't wait to see how this game would play with respawning modes and how this whole 64 player count and all the way up to 100 and that sort of thing would play out. I was a little worried there because it would mean bigger maps. And then you also had the 10v10, which was also what you now could play in this multiplayer beta. When I hopped into the beta, I was really just thinking that this would be a great experience because of how good gunfight was to me. Sadly, I had very mixed thoughts when I now couldn't play the beta anymore with the first weekend. I gotta admit, it gives me more of a Call of Duty Ghosts vibe than anything else, and I don't know what it is about it, and I can't really say this is definitely the reason why, but to me one of the main reasons I feel that this at least could potentially be it is because of the map design. I don't really like the map design in this game so far with the 10v10 stuff. The map design in general feels a little too big, and maybe it suits 10v10, but to me I kinda wanted some smaller maps and some more simplified, I guess you could say, because there were way too many spots that you could camp in these different maps, at least in my opinion, and I wasn't really too big of a fan of that. I would eventually learn the more common camping spots and that sort of thing, but even then I would also still get wrecked easily by campers and that sort of thing, and it kinda takes away the fun as well, the fact that you have to deal with campers here and there in these different buildings or whatever, depending on map. But it was that raid map, I forgot the first word for it, but I know it had raid in it. And then you had the cave map. In general, I don't like that map at all, with the cave obviously being somewhere you can camp. And when you actually get a streak, like a chopper gunner, which I have done twice in that map, I can't really kill anyone because they camp inside of that stupid cave all the time, and teammates were pretty much shite and couldn't really flush them out a little more in the open to the point where I would actually be able to kill someone. So I didn't really like that map, also because of the outside part of it that is basically right next to the cave. You had so many buildings that you can enter and camp in and that sort of thing as well, so not a big fan of that cave map. Then you had that Hackyard map that is in the UK. I don't like that map either. It is a little more simple, but at the same time there's still a little too many places you can go with those rooftops and that sort of thing. That is a little too much for me, at least, but yeah, it is what it is, at least so far. Then you have the guns, and they all feel pretty decent, most of them at least from what I've tried so far. And I would quickly just say the MP7 maybe could need a little buff. It feels like it gives you a little too many hit markers at medium range or something, at least to me, where I felt like it should have been a kill. So I don't really like the MP7 that much. The MP5 on the other hand, I kind of like it, especially if you have the 10mm rounds as a attachment thing that kind of buffs your damage from what it says as an attachment. I really like that, and it feels a little better. I don't know how much it actually boosts your damage numbers and that sort of thing, but it's definitely a more viable option to me, at least, to use the MP5 compared to the MP7. I don't know if the MP7 even has that option as well. I haven't really leveled it up all the way, so I can't really tell, but I have done that with the MP5. definitely is a really good gun in general for the most part. Then there's the AUG. I really enjoy playing with that one as well. The M4A1, also one of my favorite ones. The M13 was also decent. The AK-47 was also alright with the damage, but the recoil was a little tricky to master for me, so I couldn't really get much going with it. But I still thought that it was a decent gun. Then there's the LMG, I don't know the name of, but that one wasn't too bad either. And then there's the bolt action sniper that you can use as well. It feels a little bad in my opinion so far, because it is a little slow with the fire rate, and I'm not a big fan of that, so I don't really like sniping. At least if I have to use that one. But I would have to try the others as well before I can really judge. And marksman rifles, so far I don't like the M14. It wasn't that great. The fire rate is just too slow for my taste. I can't really spam it quickly, so I don't want to use it too much. But I am really happy that the marksman rifle category has made a return again since the Call of Duty Ghost days. So that's something that I'm at least happy about. And then there's also domination. I really like that domination is back as it now used to be before Black Ops 2, and I don't even remember if Call of Duty Ghost had a round-based domination system, but I really missed this whole domination where it was just not round-based. I really hate the round-based domination modes because it wasn't really a change I thought was needed in the first place, and I especially just hated it because of the fact that you had to start over from a new round. I'm really happy to see that it is finally back again as it used to be. It is definitely nice not having to worry about saving your streaks, and there's just so many things that I really didn't enjoy about this round-based domination system. I hope that this will stay the same moving forward, and if not, then at least make a different playlist or a separate playlist for this domination approach, because I would definitely not like to play the round-based ones if I could choose the normal as it used to be domination without the rounds being a thing that you had to worry about. But yeah, that was domination. Then I also really like the amount of settings that you could change and that sort of thing. I would love to see a field of view slider for consoles, and I kind of hope that Call of Duty this year would allow it, but sadly it's not meant to be, so I guess I'll just have to hope for the future, see if that will happen there. But as of right now, it won't be the case, sadly, and it's a real shame because there is obviously also support for crossplay and PC players can do it. So if you could change the field of view just like PC players, that would be nice, but that's just me. Minimap is also something that I really want to see come back as it now has been before Black Ops 4, and so far we've got one solution of it, and that is basically no red dots on the minimap when enemies shoot with their guns unsuppressed or something, and that is something I kind of still hope will change. That is because I don't really see a point in having it if you can't even see the enemies. Obviously, I know some people love chasing the red dots and that sort of thing, but I feel like if you have the suppressor, it should also grant you that extra advantage of also hiding you from the minimap and that sort of thing. So I would love to see it come back as it now used to be for purposes like that, making the attachment choice a little more difficult to choose from with the muzzles at least. That would at least be my hope for it. So for me, I would love to see a minimap return as it used to be, and also I actually really would like to see it being zoomed out a little more, or at least give you the option as a player to either zoom in or zoom out with your minimap, so that you can choose how much in the minimap that you want to see, sort of like how CSGO allows you to do it. And yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts so far with both the alpha and the beta. I still think it's an okay game. It gives me more of a Ghost vibe than Modern Warfare 2 and 3 sadly, but it's still fun. It feels rewarding at least when I can't get a streak going or something. And the only thing I would just love to see, especially being changed, is the minimap and the map design, so that you at least also have some more fast-paced and the more traditional close quarter combat feeling that maps such as Shipment, Nuketown, Hijacked, and Dome, Rust, and all these other great fan favorite small maps has in the past given players the experience of. So I can only hope for that in the future. If not, then really just hope for gunfight maps being something that you can play with a 6v6 kind of thing. But yeah, that was my thoughts, and I wanted to quickly shout out these 5 recent comments on screen right now, and where I'll obviously leave a channel link in the description down below as usual when I now do make my commentaries and I remember to shout out the 5 recent comments. And then I also quickly, even though it's pretty late at this point, I quickly wanted to say thank you for the support and helping me reach the 6,000 subs when I now reached that some weeks ago, I believe. And I'll say it here just because I haven't done a commentary in a while, so I thought I would at least quickly take the time to also say that in my next commentary, which is this one. So thank you. And then there's also walkthroughs coming up, as the next one will be COD 4, and I look forward to hopefully play through the Modern Warfare story once again, but in the original one. And then finally we will have Modern Warfare releasing at the end of that next month, where I can do the walkthrough of that for November. And I can't wait to specifically do the walkthrough for that game, because I really think that it will have a fantastic campaign story. And this is also why I really pre-ordered this game without any hesitation, because it just looked so interesting and awesome, and what I heard about it online, it just seems really interesting. So I can't wait to see some proper campaign stuff and actually see what the story will be about once the full game is out. So not that long of a wait time at this point, but yeah, thanks to all of you viewers that now stick around for this long, and hopefully I will see you guys on the next one. And before I forget, I also will be, for the next few days, upload some more videos of old clips with Battlefield this time. I have some quick old clips that I never got to use and I thought I would use, so this will most likely be something that I'll upload soon as well. It will be just like the World War II clips that I've showcased so far. I will most likely do it in parts if it does turn out that I have a lot of clips and a very long video in total with all of them combined. So I'll have to see with that, but just as a heads up for the next few days, you may see some old clip videos again here and there, if it will turn out to be something that I decide to do in multiple parts and that sort of thing.
The tank is retreating. Their tank is pulling back. 10 seconds left. The tank is backing up. The enemy tank is advancing. Hit the enemies near the tank. The tank is retreating. Clear all enemies from the tank. We've won! We held the enemy forces long enough for reinforcements to get here.